All right, so this is my brisket process from start to finish. We're going to try and document as much of this as I can, and if you can tolerate it, listen to me babbling. This is how we do it. So we got a 20-pounder. I'm going to open this thing up. Just got this a couple days ago. Hasn't been wet aged or anything special. No idea what it looks like inside. Slight gash there. Not too worried about that, but we're going to show the whole process from trimming to injecting to cooking, and hopefully this will provide some insight. These things actually are pretty large. Alright, so cut the cryovac open. And the biggest thing when trimming brisket is making sure you got a good trimming knife. I just used that one to open it up. This one's kind of got a thin flat on this side, but that's okay. Decent brisket overall, but literally all I do when I trim at home, not for like competitions or anything fancy, is take some of the top fat off, get rid of the kernel, and yeah, this is what we do. We grab your best brisket knife, and you just start going to work. And you want to make sure that when you're getting the fat, just kind of skimming the top. You don't have to get it all. Some people really talk about the silver skin and how important it is to get off. But really, if you have a good knife, I really feel that just taking off the top layer of fat and even leaving some of that silver skin, the rub still really applies to the meat and it sticks. To those that can tell the difference between every ounce of silver skin off, I just tip my hat to you. But for me, I'm just trying to get this top layer off right now. And maybe a little more. It only takes a couple minutes. The point, sometimes back in here, I'll just take this little bit of fat off. And sometimes I'll even come in and separate a little bit of the flat from the point. But other than just this little bit of trimming now, I mean, it's pretty much, yeah, it's pretty much done. So we'll cut and I'll come back when we're going to inject. Oh, go. All right, so injection time. I have kind of a base that I'll use for my briskets when I do give them injections at home, which is a lot of the time. I feel that brisket, I like when I give it a little bit more flavor and just randomness. It's good by itself, but for me, I need a little extra spice as the variety of like unicorns or something. So beef base miners is awesome. Typically for one brisket, 15 pounds or right around that range. I'll give it a quart of total liquidness, and I'm going to give 1 tablespoon. It's 1 tablespoon per quart, so I think that's probably like 2, and so I don't always measure. Today is no difference. So we're going to give it that. I normally give it some form of rub. This is just something I grabbed off the shelf, Jack Daniels. We're going to see if we can take the lid off this thing to make it go a little faster. And normally maybe like a 1/4 cup, so 1, 2, 3, 4-ish tablespoons. Worcestershire, maybe a couple tablespoons, that's probably like 3 or 4. And then sriracha, some form of hot sauce, it just kind of rounds it out. It doesn't actually make it spicy, so much that I just like the flavor. You don't have to do it from that height, but if you're daring, give it a go. Put it in the blender. If you don't have a Vitamix or something that really can get down that that rub, you can grind it in like a spice grinder or something like that, unless you got a big old honking needle that you want to violate the brisket with like a lot. Other than that, I'm going to turn this on. It's going to make a lot of loud noises, and we'll probably, I don't know, probably cut. Alright, so injection time now. This is actually about 20 ounces of liquid. This 20-pounder, I'm going to give it that much. When I had that 28-pounder, I actually gave it 2 full quarts, and it took it all, if you know what I'm saying. Wink, wink. But basic home injection, we'll kind of do it 2 different times. I'll go kind of with the grain the whole way, hit the point, and then I'll actually come back against the grain, kind of in rows. Not... Oh, I mean, I'm sure it's fine. It gets a little weird and it squirts out a little, but that's okay. I don't always start right down at the end because it kind of pushes out with the grain, so I don't start necessarily right at the tip. So we'll see how much of this you can tolerate. Maybe I'll do one of those fast forwarding segments where I make it go like I did with the one and twice as fast, because this can get kind of painful. And by now, if you're interested in these videos, you're like, I don't know if I can listen to this freaking moron babble about brisket and sticking a needle in there and talking about God only knows what.
At least you guys can fast forward when you get sick of it. Love you.
We'll talk about this later, honey. Probably not as concentrating as much as I normally do. See if we can go a little faster. Almost had backsplash. I feel like I'm wearing a fancy shirt.
This is very true.
With my sweatpants. Is this where we really get to know people?
I mean, it's likely where they get to know us in some capacity.
Yeah.
I suppose.
Yeah.
Unless they're fast forwarding and then they miss out.
That's true, and they're missing on the sucking noise, if you know what I'm saying.
Oh, did you see that spray?
That is what bleach is for.
Oh, God.
And this is mostly for flavor. There are some phosphates in certain injection mixes that you can use, again, if you're getting fancy and talking about competition stuff, but that's not the point of this process. We didn't use any of Butcher's or Fab or any of that good stuff here. This is all for flavor. Sometimes it's for shame. Alright, that's probably good there.
Stop.
No. Oh, no, I mean, like, well, now I'm going to inject the point. I mean, you can stop. Again, I really feel as though, with only a few minutes probably into this, that people don't want to see it.
3 minutes.
But we're going to show them all that they want to see. I get a little more scattered when I inject the point. It's just kind of fill it up. Just going to toss that softball into the air. I do try and keep it somewhat even, though. And I've gone through my gamut of injectors. I've went from actually these cheapo ones when I started out to the pump injector that you can fill like half a gallon, to a spit jack, which has much wider gauge needle. But I ended up coming back to these cheapo $2 ones. I just feel like you can get a little bit more exact. If I had to do a lot of meat, the pump one's great, and that spit jack I actually really like as well. But these are really good, especially if you want to, like, you know, inject chicken, things that are smaller. But I genuinely enjoy these. And if you really grind it down, then you won't get a whole lot of jamming and whatnot. Alright, so we'll start with the last part of it. That went all over the floor. I'm surprised. I'm not wearing any of it. I mean, there's no way I'm going to get any of it on me now. If I was really paying attention, I would go half-inch segments all the way around, but tonight, and again, most home uses, I'm just trying to get it fairly even. Nothing crazy. You can negate this entire process. I've made plenty of brisket where I inject none, do that 2 minutes of trimming, throw it on the smoker. So do this step, don't do this step. Injecting is just kind of another way to play with barbecue. And another way to talk about playing with your meat. And I'll leave it in this pan and in this bag the rest of the night until, I don't know, cook it sometime tomorrow. Going to run 300 plus, and we'll hopefully get this thing done in 6 hours or so. And there's just a little extra, so we'll just kind of put it wherever. YOLO, right? Oh my God, if you really feel this is not going well. I don't like that you didn't, like, you know, try and make me feel okay there.
Oh, it's going great.
Oh,
You're doing wonderful.
Yeah, okay. No one's gonna think this is stupid?
No.
Okay.
It's that hole.
What? Yeah, like put it right in there?
Yeah.
Okay. Like slowly, or?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. No, I kind of just jammed it in.
Oh, it's kind of rude.
Okay, well, all right, injection time, done. The end, literally now going, I guess we can, if you want to actually follow the process, here we go. Wrapped up, I'll rub it in the morning. Something like this, and then it's going to go into a refrigerator. I'll like sprinkle rub on it. I'll probably show that process too. All right, the end.
Good night, Brisket.